Hi, everyone. It was great to be with you guys this past couple weeks for our men's and women's retreats. Thanks so much for your leadership there. And as I was reading through Acts, I think one of the things that most struck me was just the sobriety of what it meant to be a follower of Jesus and to be part of the community of believers. In Acts 5, we see Ananias and Sapphira get struck down for basically being dishonest and trying to appear more spiritual than they really were. We see the apostles persecuted and put in jail multiple times. We see Stephen be stoned. And then we see Saul and his conversion after persecuting believers. God says this about him: I will show him how much he must suffer for my name. And I think the thing that struck me is just the significance, the cost of what it means to really follow Christ as a community of his kids. And so a few implications for us. One is just our expectations of especially being in ministry. I think sometimes when things get hard or challenges come up, it can quickly cause me to question what God's doing or if this is still where he has me. And I think reading through Acts, it becomes more evident that that should be my expectation, that following Christ and leading out for the kingdom is going to be hard, and there's going to be opposition and challenges of all sorts of different types. The other thing is just how we share the gospel. I think sometimes we can feel like we're trying to sell people on something. We talk a lot about God's grace and love and goodness, that he is everything we want and need, and those things are totally true. But the reality is that we are calling people to die, and not just once, but a daily death, and that the cost of following Jesus is significant. It becomes evident that there's really no space for the health and wealth prosperity gospel in Acts, that we are called to follow Jesus and give up everything for him joyfully. And even in Stephen's example of sharing the gospel before he's killed, is he calls them a stiff-necked people, which I don't know that that's prescriptive of how we should share the gospel, but that to some we will be the stench of death. And then lastly is just as leaders, what we're calling our fellow believers to. There was a great cost to following Jesus that they gave joyfully, and it was totally worthwhile, far exceeding just coming to a meeting once in a while or a small group. But there was a mutual, just complete commitment to the kingdom of God, and that we can unashamedly call people to that. Thanks. Love you guys.